Our frequencies. Hopefully everybody's doing good, having a great day. A little birdie told me that my videos need to be longer. Okay, little birdie. I try to get straight to the point and just go through the dream and not, spend a lot of time in wasteless chatter, but I am going to start, get a little deep, maybe add some things to create more of a dialogue. Last night, so the dream state last night was pretty interesting, to say the least. I'm going to start off with the first part. Oh, vibration on the right side. So in the dream state last night, wow. The first part of it came through as different shape-shifting beings. I'm not really quite sure on shapeshifters, if all of them are benevolent or malevolent. I'm not quite sure. I don't want to, put that title on them because I don't really know. But I can say that I had some shape-shifting features and faces that went on initially when the energy first came through. Then after that, normally my dreams are vivid. I'm interpreting this telepathic signals of things that I'm seeing, that I'm witnessing, and that's happening. But last night, I don't know if anybody has experienced this before in the dream state, but last night was different. It wasn't anything that I saw. It was more so of things that was felt and that I knew. So it was the best that I can describe it. It was like a total blackout. Let's say in the dream, everything is blacked out. Like you're not seeing anything. You're not, you're still experiencing. You're still experiencing, but you're not seeing with the physical eyes of projection of like what we end up projecting and seeing here in this reality. I've been sitting with it all day. This is the first time this experience has happened to me. And I think before, I told you this, and it's still vibrating over here. We receive those things that we seek. We receive those things that we call forth, and we receive those things that we say. And one of the things that I say when I'm blessing the space, when I come on here, is higher frequencies. And the frequency was higher in the dream state. The frequency is ramping up. It's ramping up within me because I'm calling it forth for a higher frequency. And so instead of me experiencing what I would experience in the waking state here, of even the telepathic communication, what I'm receiving that happened is that it went a step above that. And so I believe that the shape shifting was taking me out. It was kind of like a twitching, like when you see things kind of twitch in and out, like it's moving to a higher frequency, but then it's still trying to stay in a lower frequency, but it's coming out of the lower frequency, going into a higher frequency. It was like glitching out of here. And so that's kind of like what the shape shifting was. I woke up around about 3:00, and I was trying to figure out, I'm like, what in the world was that? I'm still trying to figure out, what was this that just happened? But it was like I felt the energy, and it wasn't anything that I need to interpret. It wasn't like how you'll have a dream and there's like physical messages. At this point, the energy was so high. It was so high of what I'm used to experiencing, I would say that only thing I could do was just be in it. You know what I'm saying? Just sit in it, just be in it, and allow it to encompass me, almost like downloads. It was, the energy is pretty much like, just receive it, just receive it, just receive it. Because right now, everything I experienced on that part of the dream, I can't even interpret it. I can't. There's no interpretation I could give to that blackout experience and feeling. It wasn't, and when I say blackout, I don't want you all to think like I'm talking about in this reality, because it has nothing to do with Earth and this realm that we live in. It was more of everything was black. As I'm saying, blackness is almost like, in Buddhism or Taoism, we refer to it as the Wu Wei. We going back into the womb, going back into total darkness, to the abyss. Like, that is total, complete darkness. It's black, the black of black. But that blackness, oh wow, that blackness was a frequency, and it was a higher frequency at that. It wasn't just being there. It was an experience. And so when I went back to sleep, my energy came down. And I got of course, a dream where I was seeing and experiencing. And in this dream, I saw, well, I didn't see it firsthand, but there was a person that ended up murdering somebody else. And I was in the area of the crowd when it occurred. And so what happened was, it was like one family, the family that was the family of the person that got murdered from this other guy, was planning a plot and a murder against the guy that murdered their family member. All right. And I end up being able to be there again, seeing both sides of the coin. And I saw when the guy actually murdered, well, I didn't see it firsthand, like the actual murder itself, but it was pretty horrific and graphic. I think my mind took it away. My consciousness, like, didn't allow me to see that part, but I knew it happened. And then the family was plotting to get back at him and shoot him and kill him. Well, I end up being a part in that family, listening to them. And I was like, oh, why am I over here listening to them? I'm supposed to be on the other side. I got to hear both sides. And then it takes me from there, because they came in with masks on, coming in to actually take out everybody who knew about the murder of their family member. Then the dream switches to the guy being in prison. And I'm hearing this man talk. And he was light complexion. He had reddish hair. His hair, he just, looking at it, you would think he would be called Red. Because he had like red hair. Red beard, red hair. But when he was in prison, talking to the other inmates, he was having a message. And it was almost as if, like, he was either, I don't know if this man was actually one of the ones that was a part of the killings that was going on, or he was just the person in prison. That part I'm not quite sure about, but my focus went to him in the dream. And it was like I was sitting in front, like to the side on a bench, and he was like, in front of me or to the side, speaking to everybody. But something about that energy he had took like I was starting to focus on him. And it was like whatever he was saying, because I can't even interpret, I don't even know what, but it was something that was just really deep. And I've learned that when that starts to happen, that's like a spirit guide for me, or a higher energy for me. This always happens. And that's when I become lucid. He was placed there in my dream for me to focus on him, to become lucid, and then have the conversation. Every time, now this is something moving out from the dream just a little bit. I have learned that every time I'm about to become lucid in my dream state, that there's always somebody that intentionally catches my attention and starts to talk. All right. And it's like they're talking directly to my spirit or my soul. Right. It's not like they're, in dreams, things happen and people around, but like whatever this energy or person is, it's like somebody from a higher system that knows me at a soul level, that's projecting themselves into my dream, and they're talking to me at a soul level. That's probably why I know what it's saying. I'm saying like even when talking about him in a dream, I'm saying like, hey, it felt like whatever he was saying, like I knew what he was saying, it was like catching my attention. But now I'm in the waking state, I cannot tell you what he was saying. All that I know is that it was something that I needed to hear. Even with me saying that lets me know that that energy was someone or energy that resonated with me from a higher frequency that was talking to my soul to wake me up. Right? It wasn't just a dream. It wasn't just, experience. It was a part of me. We always say, and everything is you. Yeah, true. And so this was a part of me, an energy part of me, someone in my soul tribe. I don't know where from, but this always happens that before I go lucid, remember I told you all before with my god brother, when I became lucid, it was like it was just him and I talking, and then I got to ask him questions. Before I became lucid another time, remember I told you about the dream within the dream when the sun caught on fire, and then when I woke up from one dream when the sun on fire, I came into another dream, sun on fire, and then somebody was standing right there next to me, and I turned to him, and I initially knew who it was, and I asked them, like, what are we to do now? And then I turned around, I talked to a lady, and that's when I became lucid, and she told me, right, the pyramids in the sky. If you all know about that dream, I'm just going back. Anyway, but I put these aspects of my dream together to know when the lucid part is going to come. So me saying it now, I'm consciously putting it in my mind to know when I have these arrivals of these energies in my dream, to be aware of it and to walk right into it, because that's the lucid part. That's the lucidity I need to be in order to uncover these mysteries and this information that we're seeking in this realm. Because the answers all lie, in the mind. And they're there. They're showing up. The information is showing up for me. And then, it's showing up for you all too. You just got to be able to know when it show up, how it shows up, and start connecting the dots. So when you're in it, you can get the answers. You can ask the questions to get the answers. Or sometimes you can just get the answers. Like they've been giving me answers. He gave me answers last night. gave me answers last night. I just didn't go deep into it because somewhere in my mind I got caught up in all the other things that had happened that was going on, that had happened in the dream. And even though I had focused on him, I was solely focused on him. And I can remember it plain as day. It was like, when I woke up, I was like, that was my lucid entrance. He was my entrance into lucidity. That was my entrance into lucidity. So yeah, that was the dream last night, and many different revelations that occurred within the dream state, from the complete darkness, being in the abyss of just total blackness, but having information received to me of a higher frequency that I can't even put into words. And then having the experience of, the two families warring, we can explain it in so many different ways, especially in this realm, the duality of myself, the higher chakra against the lower chakras, coming into the heart chakra to the awareness. He was a fire, a red, the energy, he was red. He had red hair, that could be the solar plexus coming into the awakening, giving me the entrance into lucidity so I could get more information to bring the higher and the lower parts, the higher chakras, this physical chakras, into balance so I could go bing all the way up. So it's many ways that it can be seen and interpreted. And then once I would have shot out of these lower chakras here, physical chakras out, then that's when I would have became lucid. And I feel like that's when I would have been able to ask questions, get more insight, and as well as downloads and higher frequencies, right? So yeah, that was my dream state. The little birdie, hopefully I did expand on my dreams a little longer than I normally do. And I went into more aspects of the dream state that I had than what I normally do. So hopefully you all resonate with some things that I've stated. I also had another little birdie that asked me about how did I know my soulmate that transitioned in 2015 was my soulmate. And so I am going to do a video on the channel and talk to you about, his transition on August the 21st of 2015, what happened on that date with my person, his person and his soul, and him leaving, and then him transitioning through the multiverse, and how we work together to get him to a complete light being. It's nothing like I've ever experienced before. It is definitely beautiful. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful experience. I've had a similar experience with my mother. She's not a complete light being yet. But I have had, which I'll share, that 2 dreams where I've had the experience, and to be able to take her to the halls of Ma'at and for her to go to her judgment. And it's beautiful. I had to get her out of this realm and let her know, this is your ancestor now. You're not alive. You're not here in the physical form, because she was trapped. So, I'm going to go into all of that because all of these occurred before I started this channel. And so I still want to share and give you more insight of things that have come to me, because I do feel like all our dreams are, and everybody has their way of connecting to continue to ascend. And the dream state is just mine. And I think it's other people who also have this type of gift too. And so this channel is for us. I want to connect with other people who have dreams, and maybe they've never shared it or they felt crazy about it. This is me outing us out and putting this information out so we can collectively start to come together slowly but surely. It's not a marathon. Not a race, it's a marathon, right? All right, so high frequencies.